All right. Hello, everybody. Welcome to Luling Eagles sports broadcast. Today is August 14th, 2022. We're going to have our Meet the Eagles event here probably about another couple of hours or so. But I was fortunate enough to, this is an impromptu interview. Sports broadcast. Today is August 14th, 2022. I hate
I
this
thought I was
echo.
Eric. I thought I was the only one that did that.
Yeah, no, I was wondering when it was going to happen, and it did. So, okay, well, let's try this again. Again, today is August 14th, 2022. I was fortunate enough before we get started here to with this Meet the Eagle event we're going to have today to have on Rodney Rodriguez from the Revved Up Sports Show, Revved Up ATX on 104.9 The Horn, and he's on Saturday mornings in Austin from 11 to noon. And we had Rodney on last year. If you remember, he's not only is he right now he's a resident of Round Rock and does broadcasting for the Westwood Warriors, if I'm not mistaken, but he's also a Caldwell County resident. He's from Lockhart. So he's good friends with our old pal, Emilio the Sarge Juarez. Yeah. So definitely wanted to have Rodney on before we get started with this football season. Rodney, how you doing, man? Good to have you.
Man, I'm doing well, and like we were talking about before it started, man, this thing has snuck up on us. It's like, with just the day-to-day, everything that we're all dealing with. I mean, whatever it is. I mean, I looked up the other day, and I'm like, my goodness, it's August. And when you turn that calendar to August, it's time for high school football. I know that teams have been in preseason camp and all of that. And it's just a lot and it happens. And I'm just excited. I think I love every year that we have realignment. To me, those are the best years, when we realign everything, because it's like, okay, we don't know what to expect. So, man, I'm looking forward to getting after it once again.
Yes, sir, for sure. We're definitely looking forward to it here. We really have. We've been looking forward to it for quite a while, man, quite a while. And like you said, here it is once again. So I guess let's talk about your end, Rodney. What are some of the changes? You mentioned the realignment. What are some of the changes that you're going to be looking for with the it is Westwood that you cover, correct?
Yeah. We do all of Round Rock ISD, okay. but it is pretty much that Westwood is the one that I hone into, because this will be like my 12th year of doing Westwood football. And it's like, man. And the cool thing is, a lot of the younger or the older guys, they still check in and they're like, hey man, what do you think about this year? Whatever. But I'm really excited to with Anthony Wood there at Westwood. He's going into year 19, being at the helm, with the Warriors. And that's pretty cool right there, because the one thing that I think is so cool about Round Rock ISD is where we don't see this in some of the outlying schools, but Round Rock ISD, you got so many coaches that are vested in and have been doing this for so long at the same school. I mean, when you talk about Coach Wood, Coach Cheshire at Stony Point, Jeff Cheatham, the list goes on and on and on of all these guys that have been at the same place for such a long time. So it's going to be not a drastic difference up here for us. We've Hutto has gone a different direction. Now we got Manor, which we'll jump into that. And Manor's very good. And it's so funny, Eric, because I think about this all the time. I remember growing up as a kid. Manor was like itty bitty. Manor was nothing. It was a little bitty thing out there. It's like when Lockhart was 3A and Luling was 3A. Everybody was all together, and Manor would pop in there. And now it's like the growth is unbelievable. Yes,
sir. I could probably do even one better. I think if I remember right, no, Greg maybe help me remember. But yeah. I think if I'm not mistaken, Manor used to be in our district.
I think they were.
Yeah, I think they were them on a regular basis.
Yeah, I think they were, and that's where it's so weird now, because even when you think about like Del Valley, Del Valley now being a 6A school, it's like, man, I remember it was like right there across from the air base, and there was in Pop Warner, we'd go play at the air base, playing against the Del Valley kids, and it was like the growth is unbelievable. I got to ask you something.
Yes, sir.
So how in the heck did you guys get 4 home games to start the season?
No, I think you must have got some bad information.
Oh, is that wrong? Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Actually, our first game is on the road.
Oh, okay.
It's at Rice Consolidated. Matter of fact, Greg was just telling me about some travel plans that he and his wife have, after the game. So I know he wouldn't be doing any of that.
Okay. Well, I was wondering because I was looking at y'all's schedule and I'm like, that can't be right.
No, we do have 2 home games right after that first one, and that's going to be against Victoria St. Joseph and Austin Eastside Memorial. So those 2 there. And then I believe after that, we go to bowling, which is going to be a pretty good haul for us, because I've never really been to, I'm not sure where bowling's at. I'll be my first time there. I can tell you that.
No clue.
So so we definitely, and then I think after that, we have another that's going to be our homecoming. I can't remember offhand who it is. And then we start district. We have our district is a 17 district this year. We kept Blanco and we kept Plano, and then we picked up some of the schools that we played in other sports these last few years. They've been in and out of our football district. That's going to be the Ingram Tom Moore Warriors, Marion Bulldogs, the University City Randolph Rollhawks, and the San Antonio Cougars. Yeah, those 4 teams are moving in, and then we lost Comfort. Comfort, I believe, dropped down altogether to 2A, and then we lost Lago Vista. They moved up to, I believe, 4A Division 2. So from the 3A Division 1, they were the last couple of years when they were in our district. So
Comfort went with Nixon.
Yeah. So Comfort, Greg said Comfort went with Nixon. So so they're a little smaller school now. So we're definitely looking forward to it here, Rodney. We've had the coaches on here recently, and if you haven't, I invite you to go out there and watch our Luling Eagle Sports broadcast. They're on our Facebook page, but on our YouTube channel as well. That's where I did, and that's where I'm doing this interview from, of course. But these coaches here are excited. They used, I'm sure, a word you hear a lot, the C word, which that C word in this case is culture. They talked about how the culture's changed around here quite a bit. So, and I'm sure, over in the teams that you cover, I'm sure that probably got the same kind of feeling, especially like you mentioned at the Open, where you're talking about this realignment. Realignment is just like you said, Rodney, it's like a new day for everybody. It's everybody's going through some kind of change. I know that some of the schools there that you guys cover at the Horn too, some of those, the West Lakes and the Lake Travises, and some of those are kind of get some of those powerhouse teams are kind of getting into the same district. It's going to be really interesting to see all those games play out.
It's going to be a really interesting year, Eric, and I think the whole thing is, just what you're talking about right there. The buy-in is so important, with all of it. It gets so complicated with high school sports these days. Because it, we talk all the time about, NIL with college sports and everything. And obviously we're not doing that in high school sports, but you really have to get the kids and the family to buy in, to believe in what the program's able to do. And, with some of the schools you mentioned there, up here with Lake Travis and Westlake and Vandergrift and Round Rock, you have all these schools that the winning culture is what they're used to. And I've talked about it, for so many years, sometimes ad nauseum, to where you have to, if you look at the successful programs, and again, it's harder in the smaller towns, to where you look at the program and in seventh grade is when it all starts. That's when you really begin to catapult your program. And it doesn't matter if it's football, baseball, basketball, volleyball, whatever it is. That's really where it all starts. And to have that momentum and to be able to continue to progress the athletes up through the ranks. And then the hardest part now is, and you guys, it's going to be a challenge for you guys at Luling, because you've got a great head coach in place. To be able to keep him, and that's the hard thing. You see so many great coaches that go in and they do amazing things at programs that have struggled, and then before you know it, boom, they're gone. And obviously, for the the reason is, the best opportunity, but I'm just so excited to get back at it and to see what's on the horizon. I think it's going to be a really interesting year across the state, to be honest with you.
Yes, sir. I believe you're right. And I'll tell you what, this is one year I think I'd like to be at Jerry World at the end of the season,
Yeah.
watch all those state championship games. Your colleague there at the Horn, Craig Way, does a wonderful job of covering all that. So yeah, I mean, just one of the best in the business. There's no doubt about that. So Hall of Famer. So
Yeah.
hey, Rodney, I can't not have you here and not ask you about your, like I said, you are from Lockhart, Caldwell County resident. So what are your thoughts on the Lions this year? I'm sure that the folks over there, Coach Amado Galvez, I know you know quite well, and Emilio Sarge Juarez, the play-by-play man for Lions Pride Sports Broadcast. Sure, they'd like to hear your thoughts about what we can expect in Lockhart this year.
I don't know if they want to hear what I have to say. I mean, I think we talked about this last year. I mean, it's always a struggle, there. It seems like they've got a good program in place, but it's kind of what I was just talking about right there, to where it's like to be able to streamline everything and to be able to steadily move the athletes up, and it's hard there in Lockhart because it was like this when I was there in the 80s. I mean, we always had higher expectations than what we were able to do, and what doesn't do Lockhart again any favors is that they are in a spot to where they're in a mega competitive district. So for them, I think the whole thing is for them to be able to get out of the box and go pick up a non-district win. I mean, that's going to be the biggest thing for them. I mean, if they can go out and win something out of the box, it's going to help build the confidence before they get into district, because that it's really going to be a gauntlet for those guys. I mean, I hate to say it, but what I am excited to see with Lockhart is it does seem, because you mentioned Coach Amato, they've got him coaching again. so he's in the mix again. So I really think that they're in the mode of doing what you guys are doing in Luling. I mean, I think they're trying to build a program, and that's really what it takes. And I know that it's unfortunately we see a lot of these towns where you drop a couple of games and then you lose all the support. And to me, that really stinks, because it doesn't need to be about wins or losses. It needs to be about, supporting the kids, supporting the band, supporting the color guards.
That's what we feel here. Absolutely
right.
correct.
Right. And I mean, it really doesn't matter if you go out there and let's say you're 12-0, whatever the case is, or if you're 0-12, whatever. I mean, it's about the community support. Go out there and let those kids know that you're supporting them. And I hope that that's what happens in Lockhart, because unfortunately, I think it could be some tough sledding for them this year with what they've got moving forward.
Okay. Well, I'll end with this question for you. What's the outlook? I asked you about Lockhart, but what's the outlook for the team that you're covering, the one you primarily cover, the Westwood Warriors? What's their outlook for the season coming?
I think it's a situation to where Coach Wood has put together, and that's another tough one right there, because I always joke around with people when it comes to Westwood. I mean, that's one of the top 100 rated high schools when it comes to academics in the entire country. And I'm like, if this was an academic event every Friday, we would be undefeated. Nobody would beat us. But with that being said, kind of the stereotype right there is like, okay, maybe some of the sharpest ones aren't the most buff guys, and that's really what the program has been dealing with right there. But I think what Anthony has done is we got a 2 quarterback system that's going to be in place for them. He had 2 sophomores last year that were out there kind of rotating a little bit. He's got them both on par. There are some underclassmen that are moving up into spots, and you've got some folks that are returning. And I mean, are they going to win the district? I mean, Anthony will say yes, but probably not, because you've got the Round Rocks and the Vandies and the Stony Points and all of that. But I think they're going to be really competitive. I think that they will, and it all comes down to depth. And that's really the biggest thing when it comes to high school football, especially when you get into the district campaigns, is do you have the depth to be able to go toe to toe and battle in the trenches? And that's going to be the challenge for them. But I think that things are definitely on the upswing the upswing for that. And times are going to be better for Westwood. I mean, everything's going to be, it's all going to work out for them at some point.
Yes, sir. So that is Rodney Rodriguez. Rodney, tell the folks where they can find you, besides y'all did mention your radio show that you have every Saturday from 11 to noon on 104.9 The Horn. How else can people find you just wherever you're at?
Yeah, depending what you're looking for. I mean, you go to hornfm.com and you can find the Revved Up ATX pages right there. You can go to I've got RodneyRodriguezSports.com, and that's kind of my I call it home base, where I like to produce a lot of content and different stuff like that. A lot of my stuff is racing related, but obviously when it comes to, football and basketball and baseball, I mean, I call play-by-play for everything. So it's racing is kind of the one where I hone in and do most of my work, but it's always a good time to just get into this time of season. I mean, it's gonna start cooling off, hopefully. And the Thursday or Friday night lights, I mean, you just can't beat that because of community support. I mean, I know it's like this in Luling, to where, I mean, folks get excited for a Friday night football game, and
yes, sir.
You get to 6 o'clock, and this is where I miss the small towns, because when you get to about 6 o'clock, man, everything is shut down. It's all about what's happening at the stadium.
Exactly.
And when it's all said and done, win or lose, just be proud of those kids and what they're doing out there, because it's a labor of love, and I just appreciate this time of year so much.
Yes, sir. Well, again, really short notice. I just had sent you the message yesterday, and you were able to come on today. So I really appreciate you taking the time. And then I'd like to get back with you probably mid-season. I'll holler at you, and we can. I can just set up at my house, and we can kind of do like a little mid-season review and have you on again, see what kind of how the way non-district goes before we start district play. Would like to have you on again. So I'll be in touch with you. I know you've been really receptive. Anytime I've ever asked you for a favor, asked you to come on interview, you're right there. Just sure, no worries. Let me know whenever. So, and hopefully I'll be seeing you in a couple of weeks. Of course, so stay tuned to the Horn for that. We'll go get more information about what I'm talking about there. But until then, we're gonna go ahead and let you go, Rodney. Let you get on. We got your nice studio there. I like that studio a lot. I've seen it quite a bit. I see you on YouTube.
Sundays, your timing was great, because like when I messaged you back, I'm like, man, Sundays I am parked in there getting ready for, I've got a couple of shows to do during the week. So this is when I plan all that. So your timing was great, dude. Anytime, let me know how to help you, because I mean, I've been there. It's all about just pushing the content and pushing the community and doing that, man. I'm always happy to help you, man, and proud of the great work.
Thank you so much, Rodney. So again, that's Rodney Rodriguez. Again, catch him on Saturday mornings from 11 to noon. Revved Up, the radio show is Revved Up ATX, if I'm not mistaken, correct?
Yeah,
and then your actual social media shows are called the Revved Up Sports Show. And of course, go check him out. Go check out the trophies that he was given recently. Oh, and then by the way, Sarge and Coach said, be careful with that racing. I told them about your racing escapades of here a couple of weeks ago. So they said, just make sure you're careful with that.
I loved it. It was great, man. That stuff never goes away. It never goes away.
All right, Rodney. Well, I'm going to let you get on again. Thank you, sir. Appreciate all your time. And we'll be talking to you again soon, okay?
You got it, man. Keep up the great work, dude. Proud of you.
Thank you, Rodney. Appreciate it.